hashtags, retweets, mentions. These are just some of the terms that are a normal part of today's internet vocabulary. But do you know who founded it? It was Twitter. Everyone's been talking about Twitter ever since world's richest man announced to bought it. In 2021, it generated only $5 billion in revenue, a far cry from Facebook's $117 billion, Instagram's $47.6 billion, and YouTube's $28.8 billion. In 2021, their losses amounted to $221 million. Despite being one of the largest social media platforms in the world with 330 million users, Twitter is still losing money. So why would a brilliant businessman like Elon Musk want to buy such a loss-making business? What is his intention behind buying Twitter? And how can he transform it into a successful company? It all started back in 2005, when Noah Glass created Odeo, a podcasting company. This was the first company of its kind on the internet, allowing users to record and share their audio files in podcast form. Noah recruited a few of his engineer friends to work on the platform, but they lacked financial resources, so he contacted his friend and neighbor, Evan Williams. Evan had just sold Blogger to Google, so he had a lot of money. By investing, Williams became the CEO, but then, Apple announced they were building their own podcasting platform directly into iTunes, crashing Odeo's entire business plan. Glass knew that Apple was about to crush Odeo and make it impossible to compete, so he wanted to finish the job. Jack Dorsey, who had joined his firm, was immediately attracted to him and became good friends with him. Dorsey came up with an idea which was a status concept where people can send out text messages letting others know what they're doing. The idea is then discussed among Glass, Williams, and Stone. Glass then opened a dictionary to try and find a name for this new project, and he stumbled across the word TWTTR, defined as a short burst of inconsequential information, and later they renamed it to Twitter. They began focusing on Twitter instead of their original podcast applications, and within a few weeks it was created. It was much simpler than Twitter as we know it today. The first ever tweet was sent on March 21, 2006 and said, "Just setting up my TWTTR." Noah and Williams had a falling out and now have very different visions for the company. Jack Dorsey also didn't feel the same way at all about Noah. He felt he had become a distraction for the company. Motivated by increasing workplace tension and the support of Dorsey, Williams fires Glass. Meanwhile, Odeo's main product, its podcasting platform, was going nowhere. Williams wrote a letter to shareholders explaining this and offered to buy the shares back from Odeo's other investors. Some people think he did this because he knew Twitter had huge potential, and so he tricked investors into thinking the company was going nowhere so he could buy their shares back cheaply. As a formality, Obvious Corporation was created in order to house Twitter, and Dorsey became Twitter's CEO. The website started seeing around 20,000 tweets per day in the first months, and this number grew to 60,000 in 2007, when Twitter was a hot topic at the South by Southwest Interactive Conference. In June 2007, Twitter held its first round of funding, raising $5 million at the valuation of $20 million. Twitter's shareholders removed Dorsey as CEO and replaced him with Williams. As Twitter's user base started to grow, users started to innovate new ways to use the service. For example, initially, there was no way to reply to another user on Twitter. So, some users started including an @ symbol before a username to identify another user within a tweet. This became such a prevalent way to acknowledge another user that the Twitter team added the functionality natively to the Twitter platform. In a similar way, in August 2007, hashtags made their debut on Twitter, supposedly started by user Chris Messina. Dorsey rejoined the company as CEO in October 2015. Twitter has constantly been innovating in order to increase user interaction, but did not get any success. In October 2015, it added Moments, which allowed users to create curated collections of tweets and other content, which was later replaced with Explore. Similarly, Twitter launched Fleets similar to Stories on Snapchat, Instagram, and Facebook. However, Fleets failed to gain popularity with users and was discontinued. In November 2021, Dorsey stepped down as CEO once again and was replaced by Chief Technology Officer Parag Agrawal. Twitter's board changed CEOs again and again to solve Twitter's problems. But throwing good management at a bad company doesn't solve any problems. The company had seen a slowdown in user growth, only adding a few million new active users each quarter. The platform was often cited as being hard to use and confusing, which contributed to user churn. Additionally, issues with hate speech, online harassment, and abusive users were also major problems. Another big problem of the Twitter is that it doesn't have any competitive advantage. The best and fastest place to see what's happening in the world and what people are talking about. That's how Twitter described itself. To be alerted to breaking news is also the #1 reason people use Twitter. But can this draw more users? A recent Pew study says that only 15% of adults get news through Twitter, while the number for Facebook is 36%. Facebook has been able to successfully incorporate news into its larger social networking platform, which has resulted in it attracting users who would otherwise go to Twitter for news. This suggests that Facebook is winning the battle against Twitter when it comes to breaking news. Twitter is a great platform for news junkies who want to stay up to date on current events. However, it's important to note that Twitter is a relatively passive platform. This means that users tend to consume content rather than interact with other users. So it is not as effective for social interaction compared to other apps. If you're looking to connect with people for purely social reasons, Twitter may not be the best platform. However, if you're interested in connecting with people over a shared topic or event, Twitter is a great option. Twitter's success is reliant on its ability to maintain growth. However, there is a limit to the number of users that Twitter can realistically obtain. Twitter's service isn't for everybody. Most people with Twitter accounts don't use them regularly. Although Twitter has become an essential tool in media, politics, technology, and entertainment, people who are not involved in these conversations may wonder what all the hype is about. So it's critical for hobbyists but not as widely used as other social media platforms. The company went public in November 2013 at the share price of $45.93 and closed at $53.70 on the 23rd of October 2222. In 9 years it gives only 16% return to their investors. The company hasn't had a profitable quarter in the 5 years after it went public. It was unable to find a buyer when attempting to sell itself. Even in FY 2021 it generated $5 billion in revenue and loss of $221 million. But yet Elon Musk, world's richest person and brilliant businessman, had purchased Twitter. Now you might be thinking that there should be something that Elon Musk has definitely looked into before paying Twitter a hefty amount of $44 billion. To understand this, let's take a look at Elon Musk's relationship with Twitter. His account, @ElonMusk, has 120 million followers, making it the second most popular account, behind at Barack Obama, the previous US president, which has 130 million followers. He posts memes, announcements about his company's space ambitions, and, frequently, jokes about cannabis on his account. He is constantly in the news because of his tweets. He sold 20,000 bottles of perfumes in a few hours using his Twitter account. His tweets influenced the price of Dogecoin, Tesla, and Twitter shares. Till now he was just leveraging his personal brand, but suddenly he has developed an interest in late January, Musk began investing in Twitter. By March 14th, Musk's stake in Twitter reached 9.2%, worth $2.89 billion, making him the largest shareholder in the company. As soon as the news went public, Twitter shares rose more than 27%. On April 14th, Musk offered to buy Twitter at $54.20 per share, valuing the company at about $43 billion. While you may be questioning how Elon Musk could purchase Twitter, I mean how he will fund it. It is important to remember that he has the resources to fund such a commitment. Elon Musk's equity commitment to Twitter included his $21 billion cash, $13 billion buyout loan and $12.5 billion loan from margin loan against Tesla. On the other hand, Twitter tried to increase his valuation by using a poison pill provision. A poison pill allows current stockholders to purchase additional shares at a discounted price, diluting the shares owned by Musk and making it more expensive for him to buy the company. In an announcement, Twitter said the poison pill will be triggered if any individual or entity acquires at least 15% of the company's shares. On the 25th of April, Twitter accepted Musk's proposal to take the company private. However, on May 6, Musk tweeted that the deal was temporarily on hold, due to concerns about bot and spam accounts on the platform. In response to Musk's action, Twitter shareholders brought a class action lawsuit against Musk over alleged stock manipulation tied to the tumultuous acquisition process. At the time, Twitter's stock had fallen more than 12% since Musk announced his bid. Then, Twitter sues Musk in Chancery Court in Delaware to force him to complete the deal. Musk refuses to honor his obligations to Twitter and its stockholders because the deal he signed no longer serves his personal interests, Twitter said in the lawsuit. Musk apparently believes that he, unlike every other party subject to Delaware contract law, is free to change his mind, trash the company, disrupt its operations, destroy stockholder value, and walk away. After months of attempting to terminate the deal, Musk suddenly proposed to acquire Twitter at his original offer price. Musk closed the deal on the final day before the Delaware Chancery Court trial was set to begin. As soon as Musk took over Twitter, Twitter's top executives were dismissed, including CEO Parag Agrawal, CFO Ned Siegel, CLO Vijaya Gadde, and General Counsel Sam Edgett. In addition, more than 50% of Twitter's workforce was fired. In his pitch deck, Mr. Musk claimed he would increase Twitter's annual revenue to $26.4 billion by 2028, up from $5 billion last year. He outlined several ways to do this, including cutting Twitter's reliance on advertising to less than 50% of revenue, producing $15 million in revenue from a payments business, increasing average revenue per user by $5.39. Mr. Musk anticipates Twitter's total number of users will grow from 217 million at the end of last year to nearly 600 million in 2025 and 931 million 6 years from now. Musk shared his vision for Twitter 2.0. According to it, Twitter is rolling out a new subscription service, Twitter Blue, which will offer users access to verification and other premium features for $8 per month. The company is also working on improving the video experience for users, including the ability to upload 42 minutes of 1080p video. In addition, Twitter is exploring ways to allow users to attach longer text to tweets, and is considering adding a secondary tag to identify public figures such as politicians. Twitter is also looking into better payouts for creators and forming a content moderation council that will include people with diverse perspectives. Finally, the company plans to encrypt DMs and add encrypted video and voice calling between accounts. Elon Musk has announced that he will continue to run Twitter for the time being, until the company is in a strong place. But do you think that it will be easier for Elon Musk to make Twitter successful? The deal seems to be not a very good one for Musk and his backers. First, Musk owned Twitter is starting in a deep financial hole. The billionaire agreed on a price in April amid a tech market rout that has only worsened since, especially for social media stocks. Rivals Meta Platforms, which owns Facebook, and Snap, which owns Snapchat, are currently valued around 2 to 3 times last year's revenue. The $44 billion Mr. Musk paid for Twitter amounts to nearly 9 times its 2021 sales. Elon Musk is treating Twitter like a startup, but the thing about startups is that most of them fail. Musk is making or has promised to make a lot of changes quickly, which makes sense when a company is small and burning through investor cash. However, Twitter is a mature company with thousands of employees, a mountain of code, and $5 billion in annual revenue. Additionally, Twitter has debt payments totaling more than $1 billion per year. If Musk moves too quickly and breaks too many things at once, he could squander a lot that Twitter has to offer. Even though Mr. Musk has a history of achieving the impossible, Twitter is a different kind of challenge than what he's used to. He has stated that he wishes to turn it into X, the everything app. This is commonly referred to as a super app by those in the tech industry, such as WeChat in China. However, the odds aren't great for success due to the fact that many of the functions, communications, shopping, payments, are already quite competently handled by numerous other apps. On the other hand, Mr. Musk said on Twitter that this is not a way to sort of make money. My strong intuitive sense is that having a public platform that is maximally trusted and broadly inclusive is extremely important to the future of civilization. I don't care about economics at all, so there is significant doubt whether Twitter will be able to grow quickly or at all, given the existing level of competition in social media.